guys, this is Kev the Builder, and today I'm going to show you guys how to add GShade to your Sims 4 game. Mainly just because it makes everything look so much better than how the game comes standard. Right now in front of you is my Patreon page where you can see all of these builds that are using the Reshade and GShade preset. I have 4 different presets now, Infused, I have Juicy, and basically these are just showing you what the game looks like with the Reshade on and what it looks like with no shade preset. But anyway, we'll get back into more of these and what each one has to offer at the end of this video. But basically, they're all for free on my Patreon, and you'll be able to download them and add them to your game. But first, I'm going to show you guys how to actually add the GShade application to your game. These presets also work with Reshade, so if you already have Reshade on your computer, that's totally fine. But I just find GShade to be a little bit easier on my computer than Reshade was originally. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to Google and just do a search for GShade. That first link that pops up will take you to the GShade page. You're going to find your way over to that download button at the top. Click on that and basically select your platform. If you're using Linux or Mac, those are options, but we're going to be installing on a Windows PC today. So you'll click the Windows installer. You'll see in the downloads that the installer is being added to your downloads folder. Once that is done, go locate it in the folder, and then you're going to run the download or install wizard on your computer. Basically, this is going to tell you pick the language that you're going to put it in. So we're going to pick English. Agree to the license agreement. And then you have to designate the location of what GShade is going to be used for on your computer. So you're going to scroll down and find the Sims 4 on your computer. And then it will show you the game path for where we're going to be saving the GShade into. If you need to change that, you can, but that's what it defaults to. It also defaults to DirectX 11 now. If you're still running DirectX 9, you can click that checkbox, but I think most people have migrated over to the DirectX 11 now. Click install, and just in a little bit, the application will be installed onto your computer. It's actually really that simple. And now it wants to designate a folder on where you want to save your screen caps when you make them in-game. It automatically defaults to your pictures folder on your computer, but I actually like to add this to the screen capture folder that the Sims have, which is under your documents. And then you're going to go to Electronic Arts, The Sims 4. You'll find screenshots there, and then I actually added a folder called Reshade, and that's what I'm going to designate as where the Reshade screen caps are taken. If you don't have that folder already, you can go New, right-click New Folder, name it Reshade, and then click that as your source for where you're going to have all those screen caps saved. Basically, that's telling you that, you're acknowledging that's where the screen caps are going to be saved. And then a little user manual pops up for GShade. So if you want to read through this, you're more than welcome to, but I don't. Rules are meant to be broken. Next thing up is you're going to go back to my Patreon page, and you can do a little Google search. It'll take you to it. You can click on collections at the top, and then you'll see one that's for shade presets. Again, I have 4 shade presets for the game. These both work on both GShade and Reshade. They are a .ini file. So sometimes when you're downloading these, your computer might think like, oh, I don't recognize the file source. And so it's going to give a little caution thing. In this browser, I can just right-click in this little downloads prompt that I have and click Keep, and it will continue the download of the files. So you might have to do that only because most computers don't recognize what an INI file is. That is the file type that is used by Reshade and GShade for the presets that are set for all the different shaders that those softwares offer. So I'm just going through and downloading all 4 of these. Thirsty, Saucy, Juicy, and Infused. Those are the 4 reshades that I have. We got one more here. Click here, download, right click, keep. So we got all 4 of them downloaded now. So we can locate these by clicking that little folder, and it will probably open up where your downloads folder is for your computer. We're then going to open up a new file explorer, and we're going to navigate our folders to the location on where we want to save these reshades. So the files are currently in our downloads folder, but we're going to find ourselves going to the C, either program files 86, or your game might be under, like this computer, it has it under just the program files. And you're going to go to Electronic Arts, or EA Games, The Sims 4. You're going to go to Game, Bin, and then you'll see 2 new folders for GShade. One is for presets. You're going to click into the presets one. I like to create a new folder, name it Kev the Builder. And then you're going to right click or drag those 4 INI files from your downloads into that folder there. So basically now those pre-shade configurations are saved in this folder. You don't have to do anything else. You can exit out of this window, but now that these are in here, you don't have to extract them, unzip them, or anything. You just plug those files directly into it. And now we're going to load in the game. So we're gonna click here, load Sims 4, go through the loading game. You'll know you have GShade installed correctly because as soon as the window pops up for your game, you'll notice a little red bar at the top of that window there. That was just quickly acknowledging that GShade or Reshade has been installed on your computer and is linked to this program. So now that the game is loaded, you're gonna be like, ugh, it still looks ugly. Like, what are we gonna do? Well, that's because we haven't loaded in one of those 4 reshades. So we're just gonna open up one of your save files. We'll do this one because they both have hair right now. You saw that second file there. And one of the Sims doesn't have the correct skin or any hair left on them. Gotta love when a game updates. Anyway, so we're going to basically load into the game, and we're going to go ahead and place a home on one of our lots. So I'm in my gallery right now, and I'm going to add this new Charming Cape Cod build to a lot in Newcrest, just for testing purposes. This is a newer build that I have up on the gallery. And what we're gonna do is, see right now, this is the game in its current state with no reshade or GShade. No preset has been loaded in. This is just the way that you normally see the game. To open up the GShade window, you push Shift Backspace together and it will bring up this prompt. You can click past having to do the tutorial. But it's gonna do a little bit of loading the first time you pop into this. So basically it's reading all of the shade filters that have been added through the application of GShade and that your game is acknowledging. So now you can see all these little check boxes for possible filters. We're gonna go up to the top where it says off, there's a little drop down. And now you'll see that Kev the Builder file that we had originally created. And when you click into that, you have the 4 filters. And basically what we're loading in right now is Thirsty. So it has all of the little filters checked, and then I'm just pointing out the key binding for the depth of field, which I'll show you guys that a little bit later. So now we have Saucy. I'll make a little more room so you guys can see it better. Juicy. And then the last one is Infused. But the biggest thing right now that I'm showing is the key binding. So for that depth of field, Shift K will turn that on and off. And the easiest way to know that it's on is basically from looking in that background. So Shift K turns it off because it was already checked, but you can see now that background isn't blurred anymore. Shift K again turns it back on, and now that background is blurred. Just a little bit. But yeah, you can play with it on, you can turn it off if you feel like it's just getting a little too blurry for you, but it has a quick camera autofocus on it. We're just looking at the front here, again, opening up that window. It's off, but then we turn it back on, and the game acknowledges the depth of field for the blur and everything. There's one more spot that I can show you guys where this actually works really well, is inside the house. So we're actually gonna pan to the house. We're gonna go inside here, and when we're looking through the foyer here at the staircase, the room beyond that has the sort of game table set up over there, right now you can see it's blurry, but if I push Shift K again, it makes it crisp again. So this is just me going through that cycle a couple times to show you the blur and the crispness if you turn it on and off. So that's with infused. We're gonna go to thirsty so you can kind of see they all do the same thing. So they all play with that same depth of field. Turn it off, turn it on. So now it's, yeah, again, and you know, I just feel like it adds more realism to your game. I like sort of the cinematography aspect of what this depth of field does. But yeah, it's pretty simple, you know, to add these in. You can play around with additional settings if you want to, but these ones I feel are perfectly fine just to download and add to your game. Again, this is what the game looks like without GShade. And then once we add one of the Kev the Builder filters, here we are. What a difference. It just warms it up. It makes it less green, gray. You know, it's a little bit drier visually when you're looking at it. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how these turned out. These 4 GShade presets are totally worth it to add to your game. All right, so that was the end. See, it wasn't that difficult to add to your game. Look at this, we're less than 15 minutes doing this. You can have a beautiful Sims 4 game too for less than 15 minutes. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in DMs and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying The Sims. Bye.